Hello and good morning. Welcome back again to my channel. My name is Leanne Jahi and happy Father's Day. Happy belated Father's Day to all amazing dads out there. You guys clearly don't have an idea of how much impact you have in our lives. I want you guys to just think for a second that any infant that comes to this world, the caregivers or the first person that handles the baby, how they treat them is what is responsible for who they turn out to be in the entire lifespan on earth. How love is introduced to you, how care is introduced to you has a great implication on the kind of person you tend to be, in the long run. I tend to believe that how anything was introduced to you, punishment, love, care, discipline, respect, kindness, how those were introduced to you first in life is how you carry yourself out throughout time. It's just the characters that change. So if it was your mom that treated you with love and kindness and all that, I don't believe somehow in the middle you just tend to be a completely different person. It's just now how people treat you, you're able to register it to the first initial point of contact on how it was received, how you received it. And you'd find people who want to be nicely taken care of because they were taken care of as kids, and that for them that was their interpretation of love. And this is why fathers, our lives matter. Number one, I understand they're single parents and I applaud you for that. You guys are doing overtime job. But this is the thing, single moms out there. If you have an opportunity, or if your baby daddy is willing to be part of your kid's life, whether in co-parenting or just be present in their life, please don't stand in the way. The person you're really punishing when you're doing that is your kid. Yes, you were grown up and things maybe couldn't have worked properly, or the ideal situation didn't play out. But here you are with a kid who's responsible, you are responsible to bring a well-balanced kid to this earth. Because if you're going to bring a life to this earth, it can't be in the chaos that we found ourselves into. Our parents were just trying to figure shit out, but we know better. So I know relationship don't always work, but also I need you to register. You can be a woman in all sorts of ways. Have your money, have your education, have everything that you would think is needed to help a child grow. But essentially, what you tend to forget is there's no one day women will ever be men. And there's no one day men will ever be women. They're different roles, they're different energies, they only work together in harmony to bring up any balanced human being. So yes, there's no one day a woman can teach a boy child how to be a man. And there's no one day a man can ever teach a girl child to be a woman. It's in the understanding of the masculine and the feminine energies and what that entails. We then can step back and say, yes, I did have a child with this guy, and we're definitely not in the same page right now, but it doesn't make him a terrible human as a dad. If he's willing to be present, don't be the one that stands in the way of your child and the connection that he would have with his father. It is important, it is necessary. And we will do that out of ego, because we want to prove a point, because what? He think I could. But for what? At the expense of your own child? Why does that even make sense? I know other baby mamas, they have valid reasons why they don't want a man in their lives. Or baby daddies have valid reasons why they don't want their baby mamas in their lives. But if your baby daddy or baby mama is not intentionally, is not chronically toxic person and is a functional human being and is willing to be present in his child's life, in co-parenting or whichever arrangement is put there, please don't stand in the way. What you realize later, which will take you longer, is that you did more damage than good. And I keep telling people who come to my shop, I don't think the whole point of empowering a woman or a man is to be better than the other person. No. I think a truly empowered woman is the one that understands her femininity. understands herself to a level that they know they don't need to go there with a man. You don't need. We're just supposed to be understanding our roles as feminine and masculine and learn how to work together. It's not to outshine the other person. Because the truth is, there's no one day we will be the other person. We just speculate. We work with the simple data that we get out here that we collect, and it's mostly it's out of bias. So we don't have a clear picture of what it is to be actually a man, or the man doesn't have a clear picture of what it is to be actually a woman. I think what would make any situation easier is if men and women out here understand it's not a matter of competition of who's better than the other. It's a matter of understanding your role as a woman and as a man, and seeing how that complements into the male, masculine, and feminine interactions around you. We both have both. We both have masculine, we both have feminine energies. And that's why women can go work extra hard, because they're fueled by their masculine energy. And when it comes to nurturing kids and giving the care, the love, and taking care of the home, it's our feminine energy. And men have that too. When a man is craving for care, they want to be treated with respect and love. That is their feminine side that is craving that. The masculine sends them out to go hunt, provide, protect, and do all that. If you listen to me, and I want you to know, I don't say these things out of spite or to be not to care of what other person feel. Listen, you could be hurt all you want. You could be greatly hurt by an individual, but then you have to go beyond the hurt. You cannot obsess in one moment in time that defines your whole life. No, don't allow yourself to be caught up in the victim mentality of that. It's going to rob you of your own happiness, and guess who's doing that to yourself? Just you. So for the dads out there, going back to the main point of this conversation today, for the dads out there, make an effort, okay? Not all baby mamas are crazy. I know there are good ones, and the crazy ones, see when they are zimu jukutaka, because I think they are caught up in too much chaos of trauma and trying to heal and having to be responsible for another person. So, just extend that hand of care, and also it's okay, because sometimes it takes more than 1 or 2 or 3 reach outs for someone to really come out of the dark. They have to come out of the dark by themselves. But then I hope you don't, for the sake of the children that we sire out here, I hope you don't tire, and I hope you don't let your ego get in the way, because some people are too far into the dark. They don't even know what light looks like anymore. And what I believe works all the time, when you extend love and you extend care, all humans respond to that. When it's honest and it's genuine, we acknowledge it. We can synthesize that in our heads. So we live in a very fast world. We live in a very chaotic time. We have to find grounding on the people that we are, or the people we want to be. And single parenting is not easy. But also, don't let your ego get in the way of you giving your child a balanced, good, fulfilled life. Or even if you don't attain that, at least halfway. This generation is different from ours. We have had to raise ourselves at some point. It's not the same for this generation. Life will continue to happen, yes. But then as life happens, I want us to know we have a very critical part to play in this life, and that is decision making. There's no one time all situations will be all ideal. There will always be chaos, and it is your responsibility to always create order in the chaos, and take your lessons with them. Why would you want to be mad your whole entire life just because of a moment that you couldn't let go of? Bottom line is, women need to understand their femininity and get away from the toxic feminism. And men have to understand their masculinity, and that doesn't come with toxic ego. No. No. And I think for me, the most attractive attribute in a man is when a man is able to be vulnerable and communicate exactly what he feels without having to feel like he needs to save face. And I know that needs to be earned, but you bear too much. You bear too much. I know you need a break. Because in the shop here, this shop, Tyler's Bar, is a point where life sparks. People open up their hearts. The people speak. And I know there's a lot of things I see being posted out here of what turns off men, what men like. But come on. Some of them are just... like I read something, I just had that this morning. Men don't like people who are too sensitive. What is wrong with sensitivity? I gotta ask this. I agree, respect is important. Over communication, it puts people off, and that is for both genders. Well, let's not act and pretend like it's only men that feel aggrieved by certain things. Even women, I mean, some of us don't enjoy being over-communicated to. You have to realize, as an individual, first, before you are a boyfriend and a girlfriend, I have my own life that I'm responsible for, that I am entitled to live. And that is not in an egocentric kind of way, in a way that makes me understand I am first responsibility to myself, and I should carry out myself in understanding that. And not bending backwards with boundaries just because you don't want to get caught up in the cluster or in the bracket of what men don't want. I think also on that, men, it's too much pressure on the woman. What do you want? Women have constantly lived their life with the voices behind of their heads of what a woman should be for a man. And this is what I believe as Leanne Jahi, and it could be different from what you think. I think a true man, a man that actually understands himself and his manhood, should allow a woman to be who they are. The person they are, they don't need to... There are things, there are points of compromise here and there because we're constantly changing and constantly learning. But you can't carry the narrative that our mothers and our grandmothers carried throughout life and want to copy-paste that on a woman. You have to register and realize with clear consciousness that there's a life that happened, there's a life this woman had up to the point you met, and there's a life she's responsible to herself for living as she continues on, because there are parts of ourselves we've not met yet. So I do really think sometimes it's very selfish when we say, oh, things that put men off, or things that a man wants from a woman, or things that makes a man stay. No, come on. I am down with that narrative of guilt-tripping women to situational personalities just to accommodate a man. And the same goes for men, because women also have asks too. Women also have asks too. And it's not like we're trying to compete or to match up that. We're not apologetic of the asks we have as a man, as women on men. If we have brought ourselves to this point in time in life, we've handled ourselves with responsibility, with care, and with love. It's only just that we ask for a man that is equally yoked with us. And I know this line of thinking may spur very different conversations amongst people, but that's okay. That is what I believe in. And people who are more accommodative, people who are more open-minded, people who are willing to look at things differently, I know will tend to agree with me. Not entirely, but I know some part they will get to agree with me. So I think I'll be having longer videos from now henceforth for having detailed conversation, because I was told my videos are too short. But we'll be having more of this kind of detailed conversations. because I know these are the core things that disrupt people, because we're constantly trying to reinvent ourselves to, to fit into the box. There's no box in this life. Come on, it was just painted up by somebody who projected the insecurities to someone. You have to choose to live your own life on your own terms. And don't worry, those who understand the value of you having your own terms and that they're non-negotiables, because of the person you've worked yourself to become and to the places you've removed yourself, I don't think they will find this as intimidating or asking for too much. So yes, there's nothing wrong with being sensitive. There's nothing wrong with talking about what you feel. I am a big believer of communication. And it doesn't always happen as we think it should happen. It requires a little push-up from here to there, because in any setup, in any sitting, or in any social circles, you have to understand how the people around you communicate. The other day I was talking with my friend, and we were like, you find a guy, there's a confrontation, there's a disagreement, and he's gone off the rails, he's spewing anger and all that. But if you don't understand your partner's or the person you're engaging way of communication, then you're gonna lose it at some point. Some people, the only way they can fight is being quiet, and this stems back to how violence was first introduced to them in their lives. If they were put in a space where they couldn't talk or they felt defenseless, best believe it has a role to play in how people communicate. Some people, their fight language is silence. They just don't know. They don't know what to do. And if they did, maybe they would lose themselves. So I've talked about a lot of things in this video. Number one, happy Father's Day. Number two, co-parenting. Let us try and make co-parenting as easy and as humane as it can be, regardless of the disagreements you have as parents. Number three, sorry. What was number three? As the man and the woman understanding their energies and not trying to outshine the other, but rather try to understand and work together. That's the whole point of masculine and feminine. We need to do this, not what a man can do, a woman can do better. I don't know what I feel about that statement, but it's not a competition. That's why you lost the whole point. It's not a competition. And I understand the women that come from that line of thinking. Truth be told, we've been constantly told it's a man's world, and we come from a very sorry, I'm a scatterbrain. So human beings are very intriguing. They're very interesting. We know how to exist on the extremes. Yani, things can be working at optimal levels. No, it's either uku ama uku. Middle ground hakuna for humans. So we've come from a very patriarchal age. And the thought behind what a man can do, a woman can do better, probably could have come from a good place where they wanted to empower women. But I think throughout time it's been intoxicated with ego and pride. But now we're moving towards the feminine energy, and I hear a lot of people say the future is female. So we're going to be in a very feminine energy. I hope after the two extremes have played out themselves, as life should somehow always do, Tatuna manual, we get to come to a realization that it's not about being better than the other person. It's understanding our roles as a woman and a man and this earth, and finding a way of forging forward. Right, that was number three in very detailed expansion. Then number four, women, this is for us. I know we've been told all the things we need to be for a man, but don't feel too shy, don't be apologetic, and don't feel ashamed to ask for what you built up yourself up to in return. Anybody that comes to your life, they should meet you where you've met yourself. You have worked yourself out to where you are right now. So don't settle just because you feel like you're going to be cut off by time. No, 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 don't. Don't settle. It's okay. And I know there's timelines for us as women. Oh, get married by 30. Oh, there's a lot of cups that have been put for us. But this is the thing. You have to choose to live your own life on your own ideals and in your own terms. No ego, no pride, just you realizing that the person that you are today has been exceptional work, that only you understand the struggles that you have had to deal with. How many times you have had to kill yourself to get to where you are. Anybody that meets you now, they should meet you where you've met yourself. I hope this video triggers you to think otherwise. And this is what I would like to say for my videos. They'll be deep, they'll be detailed. I want you to start watching my videos with a different, open to a different perspective. Life is not always how we see it. It's not, one way. It's multidimensional, and it's good to just listen to what the other person's perspective looks like. Maybe they'll give you a nudge to look at life differently. Say, you don't have to apply it, you don't have to adhere to it, you don't have to, embody it. Just listen, there's no harm to that. So until next time, goodbye, beautiful tribe, and be kind out there. Bye.